Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Conference on World Breastfeeding Week. Breastfeeding, diet and nutrition, parenting, education, health, well-being, environment, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. An international and national fraternity on occasion of World Breastfeeding Day, World Breastfeeding Week, and World Breastfeeding Month 2020. Before we start today's proceedings, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Those who have registered for the presentations are kindly requested to share their details in the chat box. After commemoration, we'll be inviting you for the presentations. Today, we are commemorating International Allyship Day, which is celebrated annually on August 8th. This day dedicates to celebrating and promoting the power of allyship across the globe. On this unique day, we come together to recognize the importance of standing up for one another, fostering inclusivity and building bridges of support and understanding. Allyship is the status or role of a person who advocates and actively works for the inclusion of a marginalized or political group in all areas of society, not as a member of that group, but in solidarity with its struggle and point of view under its leadership. Genuine allyship does not come with special recognition. We do not get awards for confronting issues people have to live with every day. So International Allyship Day is founded in 2023 to celebrate the incredible strength in unity. It is a day to embrace diversity, celebrate differences, and foster a sense of belonging for everyone. This day encourages communities to show up authentically and work together to create positive social change. Networking, workshops, events, and communities Gatherings can achieve engagement, inspiration, and connection to advocate for others in workplace and at home. Multiple national studies indicate that 4 out of 5 US based employees are familiar with or have participated in unconscious bias training. This training, while extremely valuable, is only the beginning. International Allyship Day exists to enforce and encourage the practice of allyship. Awareness without action does not move the needle. Active and genuine allyship is about consistency and continuously taking action, despite biases, to treat all others equally and equitably. So now it's time to tackle equity as we all challenge gender stereotypes, call out discrimination, draw attention to devalue behaviors, and create inclusive environments. President Truman signs Executive Order 9981 into effect to desegregate the armed services in 1948, which marked the diversity in the workplace. Non-discriminatory inclusion for all DE&I takes root in corporate America through the Equal Pay Act of 1963, Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and the Age Discrimination in Employment Act of 1967 in the 1960s. So, framework for workplace diversity, along with anti-discriminatory practices, come into play and set the stage in 1970s. Gender is a gateway. Gender diversity education begins to emerge in 1970s and 1980s. Education within US expands to assist and focus on the inclusion of other underrepresented groups like disabled persons, communities of different ethnic groups, and members of the LGBTQIA community in the 1990s. D and A, D and I evolves into new practice of allyship, turning unconscious bias and awareness into action since 2010. Dictionary.com names allyship its word of the year the first time a new word receives the title in 2021. So this day was set for August 8 as number 8 has associations with unity, harmony, and a feeling of connectedness. An ally is one who actively works for or with a marginalized group within the society, despite not being a member, but standing in solidarity with the struggles faced. These acts apply without the desire of expectation for rewards or special recognition. Allies leverage their privilege to support underrepresented individuals and communities through both reactive actions like calling out devaluing behaviors and microaggressions, that is, individuals being interrupted or spoken over, being asked to do office work in meetings, having their judgment questions in their area of expertise, etc. When witnessed and proactive actions include actions which create equitable opportunities, such as ensuring diverse slates of candidates for positions, advocating for the promotion of underrepresented individuals, etc. On International Allyship Day, read some resources, share some resources with those in social circles. You can plan an event to discuss allyship and how to apply it in your community. Or you can join events like this to celebrate and commemorate the events. And also, If you would like to make presentation on such topics, you are welcome. Or take an allyship assessment to see where you are on the allyship continuum and what you can do better to ally to others. In celebration of this day, we recommend having a honest conversation with a member of underrepresented community, discussing their experiences and what can improve them. You can even ask what you specifically can do to be a better ally for them. Allyship is not a project with a start and finish. It's a process, a journey. Consider the progress your organization has made and celebrate the practice of allyship and those individuals who walk the talk to make their work and home environments more equitable. So bring your teams together and commit to continuing the work. 78% of the organizations prioritize diversity to improve workplace culture, while 62% aim to boost financial performance. Research from Team Stage Women in the Workforce 2022 shows that even a 10% increase in gender focused diversity can positively impact or increase total profits. Despite 84% of the employees reporting being part of unconscious bias training, the Integrating Women Leaders Foundation 2022 State of Allyship in Action study illustrates only 47% included allyship training, while only 34% included participatory communities. The McKinsey Lean in 2022 Women in the Workplace report highlights heartbreaking truths. For every 100 men getting their first promotion, only 87 women receive a promotion. Similarly, these numbers are notably lower for women of color or members of similarly underrepresented communities. The Harvard Business Review brought to the public attention that the CEOs of large companies are significantly more likely to be a man by the name of John or David than a woman, and gets worse at the top. The World Economic Forum 16th Global Center Gender Gap illustrates the gender wage gap expects to close, but not for another 132 years at the current speed and rate of change. So, wondering, is progress progressing? We all have privilege over others, and as such, all have an opportunity to practice allyship. Now is the time to capitalize on the growing momentum around concepts of allyship, and now is the time to tackle equity as we can all challenge gender stereotypes, call out discrimination, draw attention to devastating behaviors, and create inclusive environments. Research indicates that those who participate in ongoing allyship practices, communities, not one and done training, bridge the allyship gap in thought and action. Allyship continues even when the holiday is over. Allyship is more than a day of conversations at work. Allyship is a journey. Gather your teams together and continue the work. Today is also commemorated as International Cat Day to celebrate one of the most common and ancient pets. They have been worshipped as gods in Egypt, and it is not surprising. Cats are one of the coolest beings on the planet. They are independent, inquisitive, adventurous, have an amazing physiognomy, and the power to heal by themselves, at least most of the time. So our enigmatic furry felines are celebrated on International Cat Day on August 8th. Cats are carnivorous, small furry animals, for the most part, with 4 legs, a tail, and claws that humans have domesticated as pets in ancient times, even though they have descended from the African wildcat and they used to catch vermin. The first historical human record about cats could be found in the ancient Egyptian civilizations. Culture, we all seem to relate cats with Egyptians because of their adoration and consideration of cats as gods. Mabdet was the first known cat deity and was regarded as a protector against snakes, scorpions, and evils during the first dynasty. So, for them, cats were not just deities but also protectors. Later, after the Egyptian dynasty collapsed, cats became popular everywhere. Greeks and Romans used them as pest control, and in the East, cats were originally owned by rich and wealthy people. But during the Middle Ages, in Europe, cats became associated with superstitions and suspected of carrying the disease during the Black Death in 1348. That is the reason why too many cats got killed in that era. And it wasn't until the 1600s that cats' reputation started to recover. In America, cats were part of the cargo on the colonization ships to minimize vermin and disease. So those cats went ashore and flourished. Nowadays, cats seem to be one of the pop icons in modern society, as we have about half of a billion among us, and since 2022, thanks to the International Fund for Animal Welfare, cats have their own holiday. Effective since August 3rd, 2020, the leading cat welfare charity, International Cat Care, became the custodians of the International Cat Day. Since 1958, they have challenged cruelty, ignorance, and misunderstanding to effect the positive change in the lives of cats. With an estimated goal population of 600 million cats, half of which are thought to be unknown, their work have never been important. To learn more about the charity, you can research about them. So the cats are rumored to be the source of Black Death. So all over Europe, thousands of street and house cats are slain in 1348. On October 18, Felicity becomes the first cat to go to space. Felicity the Aristocrat, 1960. International Cat Day is created by the International Fund for Animal Welfare to take place on August 8 in 2002. The oldest known pet French archaeologists discovered a 9,500-year-old cat grave in Cyprus in 2004. Pusheen is created by artists Claire Belcher and Andrew Duff as a character for their web comic Everyday Cute. In May 2010, World's Cutest Cat. Grumpy's Cat's Facebook page hit 7 million likes in 2014, and Grumpy Cat goes viral. Cats get the royal treatment on International Cat Day. Not this isn't already the case on most days, but they are especially pampered and showered with love today. Cats are finicest members of the family, so the day is spent catering to their every need, buying them their favorite treats and expensive cat, letting them share to their heart's content, allowing them to wait, and even tuning to their favorite TV show. There are videos on the internet of cats obediently watching Tom and Jerry. Not every cat is lucky enough to have a good home where it enjoys a lavish lifestyle. Stray cats are subjected to cruelty, injuries due to car accidents, and other harmful situations. So, donations are generous, made to animal shelters and welfare organizations. Cats are also adopted and taken to their new homes, especially by children who are getting their first pet. 18% of households in the UK ruled by a cat. 9,500 number of years ago when the oldest known pet cat existed. 70% of their lives cats spent sleeping. The number of years an orange cat named Stubbs served as the mayor of a small town in Alaska is around 20 years. The record number of inches for the longest cat ever was 48.5. The record number of inches of the tallest cat ever was 1905. The net worth of the richest cat in the world is 7 million pounds. 1963 was a year when a cat was successfully sent to space. The maximum speed of a house cat is around 30 miles per hour. We also have a similar commemoration on June 4th, which is National Hug Your Cat Day. Most cats are super affectionate and love to nuzzle and give hugs accompanied by loud and soothing purrs. However, some cats are a bit more uncomfortable with too much affection. So always make sure you are doing whatever your cat is comfortable or risk of warning his. There are many homeless cats around the world, so what's better to show them respect and love by giving them food and supplies? If you have a cat, International Cat Day is a perfect day to have a great time and show love to your baby. Even if you don't like cats, remember to treat them with respect and kindness. Even if you don't like cats, remember to treat them with respect and kindness. Take the occasion to spread awareness about respect to cats on your social media. Berlin, a black and white cat from the UK, has the record of the loudest purr, and his purr is 67.8 decibels. Your little kitty can hit the speeds of around 30 miles per hour, faster than you think. According to Guinness World Records, when Blackie's millionaire owner passed away, he got a 7 million pound fortune, the richest kitty in the town. Cats cannot detect sweetness, which explains why they are not drawn to it at all. So, not so sweet. According to the science, cats only use their meows to talk to humans and not to each other, except to their mothers when they are kittens. So they only meow to you and all of us. So days like this show off that as humans, we do all living beings, and there are more of us who respect and love kittens than those who don't. It is easy to get the idea that we are the most important beings on the planet. But as a lovely reminder, we are not alone. So we need to respect the other beings' rights and our part, starting with our pets. It is scientifically proven that cats help to improve mental health as stress relievers just by being there. It is also commemorated as Digital Nomad Day, which falls on August 8th every year, celebrates the merits and lives of those who make their world their office. As more people grow disillusioned with rigid working cultures, many are looking for the ways to experience the best of the world has to offer. While maintaining their livelihoods, therefore, Digital Nomad Day is a day that celebrates the remote working culture and invites those living the digital nomad lifestyle to share the multitude of benefits and experiences that come with combining travel and work. Today is also commemorated as Dying to Know Day, which is all about fostering deep conversations about one thing all humans have in common, that is death. After reading a book called Dying to Know, Bringing Death to Life, an Australian organization called the Groundswell Project decided to dedicate an entire day to destigmatizing the topic of dying and educating others on how to die in a way that stays true to themselves and their wishes. The hope on this day is that will according to the Groundswell Project and D2KD USA organization, the practical applications for destigmatizing the topic of death include writings one's will and obituary discussing end of life plans with loved ones in the case of severe illness, disease, or injury, and even making funeral arrangements. On D2KD, even the healthiest, youngest, and furthest from dying are invited to allow themselves to think about their inevitable end and determine how they would like to be laid to rest. Interestingly, Dying to Know Day is devoted equally to the living and the dead. We are not only encouraged to consider our own passing from life, but also the already completed passing of our friends and family members. In addition to the end of life planning, D2KD is also about grief and bereavement and coping with the loss. 364 days out of each year are spent avoiding thoughts of death and dying and feeling unable to discuss such subject matter publicly. But on August 8th, the taboo is suspended and people across the world are allowed to ask questions, have conversations, express feelings, and make plans. Today is also commemorated as Happiness Happens Day to see how you can make it happen today. It's what people want most out of life. If we aren't actively looking for it, we are talking about it, spreading it, dreaming about it, or hopefully experiencing it. For many, it's a goal to be happy. Then there are those who always just seem happy. Today is also commemorated as Peasants' Day in Tanzania, which is celebrated on August 8th each year and aims to celebrate the farmers that keep society fed and running. This day was also known as Workers' Day, when Industries Day, and Farmers' Day. It was originally celebrated as Saba Saba, which means 7-7. This caused a bit confusion to the public when Farmers' Day was and was established on August 8th. Therefore, the 2 days were combined and are now celebrated as one public holiday. This is a public holiday for the general population and a day on which can all the people can enjoy communal meals, drinking, dancing, and music. Agriculture is very important in Tanzania. Half of all workers living in Tanzania work in the sector, and agriculture contributes to almost a third of Tanzania's gross domestic product and accounts for 85% of exports. The largest food crop is maize, and the largest cash crop is sugar. Even though agriculture has a crucial role in economy and prosperity of the country, it still faces challenges in terms of product. Peasants' Day or Farmers' Day is a day to honor farmers and focus on the contribution of the sector to the country. Like other African countries, they rely only farming and agriculture. Peasants' Day or Farmers' Day is a day to honor farmers and focus on the contribution of the sector to the country, like other African countries that they rely on farming and agriculture. It is a great opportunity to share new technologies and developments in farming, improve education, and highlight best practices. On August 1st, Agriculture Fairs start with 8 days fairs, with 8 fairs organized for August 8th. On July 7th every year, before 1992, Peasants' Day was celebrated under the name Saba Saba Day, but it was seized. Some people would take both days off, some people would take the seventh day off, and other people would take the eighth off. There was a huge agriculture festival that took place in the city of Monza before both days were combined into one day. At the said festivals, farmers from all over the country would bring their produce and show off their wares. With this, we shall end today's commemorations and move on to presentations. Those who are prepared with their presentations can share their details in the chat box so that we can invite you for the presentations. So we'll move on to the presentations. So today, we'll be looking at the infant milk substitutes, feeding bottles, and infant food regulations of Production, Supply and Distribution Act 1992, as amended in 2003 IMS Act, in short known as IMS Act. Now, why this IMS Act was enacted? As we were discussing since a couple of days, as there was a need to promote breastfeeding and also to counter the aggressive marketing by various breastfeeding companies. Breastfeeding supplement companies, those who are manufacturing breastfeeding supplements, especially supplement products, and which are being marketed as supplements and alternatives. So, India enacted a law in 1992 in line with various provisions by World Health Organizations, and it came into the force on 1st August 1993 as a central government act by notification in the official gazette to protect, promote, and support breastfeeding. So since then, it has been a powerful tool. It was strengthened by the amendment in 2003, enhancing the protection level, and various rules were prescribed in 1993 and again, which were amended in 2003. So, now, the statement of objects and reasons. Why? What is the objective? The promotion of infant milk substitutes and related products like feeding bottles and teats do constitute a health hazard. Promotion of infant milk substitute and related products has been more pervasive and extensive than the dissemination of information concerning the advantages of mother's milk and breastfeeding, and contributes to decline in breastfeeding. We have seen that there are various hazards by using infant milk substitutes, that is breast milk substitutes and related products. Like when you use any other substitute like formula powder, formula milk, we are not sure how far it is healthy, how far it is not contaminated, how far it is hygienic. And there is also a cost involved in procuring and storage, transportation, and safe use of such products from production to delivery and consumption. There are various health hazards that are involved, and baby is vulnerable. We have discussed how vulnerable a baby is, and introducing such foods to baby can lead to death of the baby, the infant. And we have seen also the mortality rate of various infants under age of 5 years. So that's why it is very important to safeguard our future generation. We need to protect and promote the health and well-being of our infants especially. And we also need to counter the marketing strategies of these infant milk substitutes and related product manufacturers who are more aggressive, pervasive, and more extensive, in promoting their products and making people think that these are better than breast milk. Now, it is our responsibility to ensure that they are not inappropriately marketing, and which is against the act and also which is against the natural order, because they are causing harm through this practice. So any advertisements or any propaganda or any such publicity or any such promotion which is causing hazard or harm to anyone should be condemned and should be contained and prevented. So that's why it's very important that the kind of information they are promoting, they are disseminating, and they are spreading should be countered with information which is more relevant and supporting the advantages and benefits and various opportunities that are with the breastfeeding, that is mother's breast milk. And we are also looking at the declining rates in breastfeeding. And that means more and more mothers and infants are becoming vulnerable, and their health and well-being is jeopardized. And it is compromised in the long run. They are more susceptible, vulnerable to diseases and disorders. So that's why we need to promote and increase the breastfeeding rate. And to improve, we also need to effectively deal and also promote and provide the facts and encourage, motivate mothers to breastfeed their baby, and also in increasing the rate of breastfeeding. So we can see the graphs effectiveness of the IMS Act restricting baby milk sales. You can see in China and in India, these statistics are from Euromonitor International India Passport Report of Baby Foods 2016. We can see the quantity of the milk baby sales in thousands tons, and you can see the year. See, by the effect of IMS Act, we have been successful. We, in the sense, all the people who are working along with the government, NGOs, and all networks together with their consolidated efforts. And there should be a legal support for all these efforts, consolidated efforts, so that it becomes more effective and legally binding on these manufacturing corporations. So we can see in China and India, when we compare, we see the difference, how the sales, baby milk sales have decreased, and when comparatively to China, you can see how the sales are high, but with this IMS Act, we can see there is considerable decrease of baby milk sales in India. So we can see clearly the impact of IMS Act. And what are the key provisions of the IMS Act? The infant milk substitutes, feeding bottles, and infant food regulations of Productions and Supply and Distribution Act 1992. And also the infant milk substitutes, feeding bottles, and infant foods regulation of production, supply, and distribution rules 1993. So let's understand basic terminology and concepts. Let's look at the definitions, because we are discussing on various topics like infant milk substitute. What is infant milk substitute? It is any food being marketed or otherwise represented as a partial or total replacement for mother's milk for infant up to the age of 2 years. It can be anything. Even if it is a water, a kind of water is also a substitute. If it is claimed or if it is represented as partially or totally as a replacement or as a substitute for mother's breast milk, and especially up to the age of 2 years, all those comes under infant milk substitutes. Then what are infant foods? any food by whatever name it is called, it doesn't matter, being marketed or otherwise represented as a complement to mother's milk to meet the growing nutritional needs of the infant after the age of 6 months and up to the age of 2 years. These are all termed as infant foods like formula milk, supplements like Cerelac, all these things, Nestle Cerelac, and so on. Now, we also saw the term feeding bottles. Bottle, it is any bottle or receptacle used So it is bottle or receptacle use. It is a bottle or receptacle used for the purpose of feeding infant milk substitute and includes a teat, a valve attached or capable of being attached to such bottle or receptacle. So anything that is used for feeding. And what does the promotion means? It means to employ directly or indirectly any method of encouraging any person to purchase or use infant milk substitute, feeding bottle, or infant food. Health worker. Who is health worker? Any person engaged in healthcare for mothers, infants, or pregnant women, which includes prenatal, natal, and postnatal care. That is from 0 day, that is the day of conception, till 2 years of the infant age, that is the first 3 years, the 1,000 days of baby, which is crucial. Those whoever is working with this period where mothers are going through are all termed as health workers. In fact, health worker has a broader definition. But here, for our understanding, healthcare system, it means an institution or an organization engaged either directly or indirectly in healthcare for mothers, infants, or pregnant women, and includes a health workers in private practice, a pharmacy, drugstore, and any association of health workers. It can be any organized system which is directly or indirectly involved in prenatal, natal, postnatal care, and also in health and well-being and development of women, especially pregnant women, lactating women, nursing women, and mothers, as well as infants, in private or public, or in a pharmacy, or in a drugstore, or any kind of services, any kind of institutional or individual professional services, and also any such associations, organizations, NGOs providing such services. So now, what does this act primarily deals with? It deals with banning of promotion and advertisements to the public about infant milk substitutes, feeding bottles, and infant foods. So now you have seen, especially this is a very famous brand across the world, which is aggressively, dominantly, widely promoted as milk substitute, breast milk substitute, infant food substitute as an alternative, as a substitute, as a complementary food. This should be avoided. No such advertisements can be given in such a manner to discourage breastfeeding, to demotivate breastfeeding, and to degrade breastfeeding, or to mean in any way that breastfeeding is lower or inferior, or any such message that can be conveyed. So any such advertisements or promotions are banned, and they will be, if any such thing continues, they will be heavily penalized, and also will be taken to the trial under legal provisions. Now, it also deals with prohibiting giving incentives to anyone and everyone, including promotion, distribution, and consumption of such infant products, infant substitutes, feeding bottles, infant foods, and so on. Like generally, our Indian mentality, we see the consumer markets. If you give anything free, for that free, people will just blindly buy it, whether it is required or not. Unfortunately, not with everyone, but more generally we see, everyone, even if it is 1,000 rupees product, if you put one pen free or one comb free, or anything that doesn't matter free value, you put anything free, just by seeing that free label, people start buying. That is a very common mentality, the common thinking, not only in India, but in many places, So they are using such tactics to, in the form of incentives for buyers, and also even for the retailers and distributors, by giving in various forms like gifts or free samples or additional packages, discounted prices, and additional benefits like monetary benefits in kind gifts, and even abroad travel and whatnot. There are all the ways that they can do to aggressively promote, market, sell these baby products and recommend them in the market. So all such things are prohibited. If you find any such thing happening, you can report and you can file a complaint on it. Now, it also restricts donation of products, educational materials, or equipments by these organizations. So if such companies, manufacturing companies, that is also an indirect persuasion of promoting their products. So that's why even any kind of donations or sponsors, even in the form of seminars also, conferences also, educational materials, equipments or products, is also not permitted. You cannot have an event sponsored by them to prohibit indirect promotion of them, because indirectly, whenever such sponsors, they come for promotion. You cannot allow that, because it's indirectly and directly promoting them. So we should not, even that is restricted. And Section 6 also prescribes guidelines for labeling. Now, often we see the labeling practices. Many people are not consciously aware of reading the labels, and many people do not read even the labels. Even if they read, they don't understand. If you see, there is certain mandatory information on the labels. And if you see any such labels observed on these products, it prohibits picture of a baby or mother or a baby of mother or graphics to increase sales. You cannot put baby or a mother with baby or any such images on these products or any such graphics or representations also. You cannot put it on the labels. If you see any such product having such, you can give a complaint on them. Now, it also ensures Section 7 of IMS Act also ensures accurate information through educational materials. So, regularly, there are various networks. Internationally, we have looked about IBFAN, and also nationally, we have BPNI, which is also a member of IBFAN and also a member of World Health Organization, and also recognized by Government of India and supported by Government of India to implement this IMS Act and as a watchdog, whistleblower, to ensure that there are no violations and it is implemented, and also to bring out various reports periodically about the impact, challenges, and also the developments and any suggestions from time to time. It also provides research studies. It also provides research opportunities and training, skill development for various public and private professionals, organizations, healthcare professionals, and all the stakeholders who would be working or who would like to work in this area concerned. Section 8 bans promotions and displays in hospitals, clinics, chemists, shops, pharmacies, or even at any place like supermarkets or shopping malls, or even at theaters or markets, anywhere. You cannot have such displays widely promoted. If you see any such, you can give a complaint on them. See, you can see, which is prohibited, they cannot use them to advertise. Even in hospitals also it is, or clinics, if you see, even at IVF centers or anywhere, if you see such advertisements, you can raise a concern and raise a complaint on them. Because this all leads to direct or indirect promotion, which is banned through IMS Act. Section 9 prohibits contribution and pecuniary benefits to healthcare workers and their associations. Indian Academy of Pediatrics also brings out various training programs and dissemination, and also prohibits contributions like, as already informed, seminars, training programs, or conferences, or any such events promoting their products and services. This also is prohibited. So no conference, no online events or offline events should be funded, sponsored, or promoted by them. Section 10 bans commissions on sales. We have also seen, why they would sell, because there is huge profit margin. They get a lot of gifts, they get a lot of commissions. So to prevent and to discourage, to demotivate sellers, distributors, retailers to sell, Section 10 bans any such commissions on sales of these products. Section 21, authorizing personal organizations for monitoring violations of IMS to make complaints. This section deals with food safety officers, authorized class 1 government officers, and voluntary organizations like we were discussing yesterday, notified by Government India, like Breastfeeding Promotion Network of India, BPNI, and there are few other organizations like Association of Consumer Action on Safety and Health, ACASH, Indian Council for Child Welfare, ICCW, Central Social Welfare Board, CSWB, and various other organizations notified by Government of India. They can monitor violations and also make complaints wherever there are violations. And the criminal procedures applied in the IMS Act, we have seen how the violation, in what ways the violation happens, and if any such violations happen, there are certain criminal procedures that apply, like under Section 23. An offense punishable under the IMS Act is bailable and also cognizable. And Section 12 provides provisions of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, 2 of 1974, relating to searches and seizures applied to every search or seizure made under the IMS Act. If any institution is promoting, any organization is promoting, like in hospitals, or in clinics where there are promotion or selling of products, or if there is any storage or promotion or recommendation that is happening, these teams, these monitoring organizations or teams have the right under this act, if they get any such information that something which is violating the IMS Act is happening. So they have the provision to check, inspect, and to search, and also seize such material, products under the IMS Act, following all the guidelines. Section 16 of this Act provides the following punishment for contravening the provisions of this Act. That is, for the first offense, imprisonment up to 2 years or a fine of 1,000 rupees or both. And for every subsequent offense, imprisonment up to 5 years or a fine of rupees 5,000. So as we also discussed earlier, and even the coordinator of BPNI, we saw a presentation yesterday, he was also mentioning about the origin and how the BPNI emerged, and he also made an appeal to the people to support BPNI efforts. So, and he also mentioned that BPNI is authorized by Government of India to monitor the IMS Act. So this is the gazette through which it was notified. Now, FSSAI, Advisory for Compliance with the IMS Act, Food Security Safety Authority of India, which is a statutory body under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, which is under Regulatory Compliance Division, has also given advisory regarding strict compliance with provisions of infant milk substitutes, feeding bottles, and infant food regulations of Production, Supply, and Distribution Act 1992, 41 of 1992, as amended from time to time, regarding production, supply, and distribution. So no one should be producing, supply, and distributing such products and market such products which is against the violation of IMS Act. But still, they have different ways to do. But you might be wondering why there are still many products in their, market, but they are marketed in different ways. We'll also see regarding that, and we'll also look at how companies violate the IMS Act, which they think now everyone might be wondering. Then how these companies are still managing to get their sales marketing provision done. Now we can see there are various studies that are being conducted, research studies, and which says, that they are better products. Now, this kind of thing, that's why, no conference, no seminar, no symposium, no webinar should be sponsored by them, because they will do all these things. Now, I was also telling many times, why most of these paid conferences, especially paid seminars, and those are sponsored. Now, why you don't get what is actually required? Why you don't get conferences on indigenous knowledge systems, or Indian ancient knowledge systems, or Indian traditional knowledge system? No one sponsors that. Why you don't get on Sanatana Dharma? Why you don't get rich Hindu culture? Because no one sponsors that. Because what Sanatana Dharma teaches, what Hindu religion teaches, is peace, global harmony, brotherhood, sisterhood, and so on. But if that is prevailing, then where there are conflicts, where there are wars, where there are differences, where there is exploitation, where there is crime, where there is abuse, people with vested interests, it may be for various reasons, they want to create discrimination, differentiation, hatred among the people in the name of religion, in the name of caste, in the name of creed, in the name of color, in the name of ethnicity, in the name of geographical boundaries, in the name of culture, in the name of tradition, in the name of status, what not. People are creating. And today we see even, so that's why we have a lot of conferences also, left ideology, right ideology. Why this left and right came? There was only one ideology, to create a different set of ideologies so that both can fight together, harm together, and there is some in-between ideology. These ideologies also, philosophies also. So all these conferences, are not just conferences, even there are many institutions and student unions or, scholars, even faculties taking, support or are promoted by these wings, by these organizations, sponsored. Not just these organizations, I'm not telling in particular with this. What happens is, in general also, we get most of these are promoted to promote their products. There is some business interest. That's why they come and sponsor. Otherwise, what is the point in sponsoring, giving money when they don't get any benefit? They are business, right? And they are looking for some benefit. They want to promote themselves, their products. That's why they come and sponsor, invest. That's why our platform is completely away from these sponsorships and funding, because we don't want anyone to dictate their terms on us. To keep it open and not being under pressure of anyone. That's why this platform is away, and it does not charge anyone also. Even if you charge 1 paise, again that will fall under a different set of obligations or implications. Even it is 1 paise also. If you charge, it doesn't matter even 1 paise or 1 rupee, 1 crore, 1 lakh, 1 billion, whatever it is. Even if you charge a single paise also, single penny also, you are under a different set of implications and obligations. So that's why we all are away from it. Now, so in a similar way, why we are talking about is the lot of research, lot of publications which are sponsored by them directly, indirectly to promote their products, establishing the effectiveness of the product is banned. So they promote such events, they give gifts to these health workers and directly, indirectly. So even for many research organizations, educational institutions and colleges, they institute and research organizations, they try to fund to bring in. Why? See, they have a certain objective. That's why they are giving funding. And only those papers will be selected which are in line for them. See, no one wants to go against them, right? No one wants who is funding, who is sponsoring that event be against them or against their products. That's why whatever the presentations come will be selected only which are in line, which promote their products directly or indirectly. This is what happens in most of these research publications and all. They only accept those which are in line with them, their objectives. Now, this is how the entire research and publications, many times I say, many people lose their interest also, because you say my book is published, my paper is published, and all, these kind of things that are happening. So we can see actually also where it is being published, how it is published. By that also we can, as we say, read between the lines. We can also tell, so what is your inclination? What is your ideology? Or where you are leading to, where you are heading to, or which one you are supporting. All similar things based on your presentations, based on your topic selections, and so on. So many things, such things happen. Anyway, it will be a little bit deviated from that, but this is how, that's why when you have a very broad mandate, what are various implications around that. And even sponsoring conferences, like I said, these are all are not or, practices, how they are directly and indirectly promoting, especially medical conferences, health conferences. Now you can see on the podium, which is Indian Society of Clinical Nutrition, you can see on the podium Nestle. Nestle is a brand which manufactures Cerelac powder, which is an infant baby food supplement, alternative or feeding bottles and so on. So this is not permitted. So they indirectly, you can see the stalls in the exhibitions, in the colleges, in the universities, in the research institutions, when conferences are organized, seminars are organized, or any events are sponsored. So all these ways, they try to promote themselves. This is all banned. And reaching to association of doctors through webinars, seminars, this is also not permitted. Even people are, they are trying all the ways to promote their products by promoting such events, sponsoring. You can see, like, this is just one. There are many such they have done. So when we see they are sponsored by such organizations, and you can see a conference being sponsored, and you can also see sponsorship for conference participation, not only just for conference, they also sponsor for participation. You need to pay participation fees, right? For most of the conferences. So they also sponsor you, not just for the fees, for the travel, for the accommodation, for presentation, from preparing your paper and bringing out research. Entire thing is sponsored. And even anyway, they are sponsoring the venue, food, and for all the experiences. But not only that, they are also sponsoring the speakers, delegates, participants, presenters, all the expenditures are met, so that at the end of the day, they have this wonderful research publication saying that baby supplement food is much better than anything else. And it also indirectly recommends, motivates the doctors and create a goodwill, which is not at all a goodwill on them, on their products. See, we are not against them, but they should not be against such thing. They can promote, but they should not harm, they should not come in between the health of infants and mothers. There are many situations where, they can promote after 6 months. They also need to promote breast milk along with the supplementary feed. That is fine. But they cannot say that this is an alternative to breastfeeding. Again, that is discouraging. Already we have seen how the breastfeeding is dropping day by day, which is making infants more vulnerable. And as an adults, they are going through various diseases, disorders, which is a huge burden to the nation for providing health infrastructure in the form of vaccinations, treatment, and so on. So even this sponsoring of delegates, speakers, presenters, and gifting equipments like books, research publications, and so on. And also selling them in online and offline platforms, and also providing huge discounts so that they are motivated, they are persuaded to buy it. And marketing on social media, you will be seeing various ads on social media platforms, on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and various YouTube and various platforms. See, these are various strategies, methods used to promote their products through digital marketing on social media and also on e-commerce websites. So what government is taking action? So we know that it should not be promoted, but in different ways they are coming up because they cannot directly. They are doing directly also, but wherever they are also coming in an indirect way to promote themselves and their products. Now they have written a letter to ICMR to bring awareness and to promote breastfeeding and to discourage any kind of such infant food or supplements, and not to recommend even to ICMR, also took action. And Secretary Health writes to state governments in September 2019 to take stringent action and strict implementation of IMS Act and monitoring. And state governments also have taken action. Based on that, they have issued guidelines, directions, instructions, circulars to strictly implement, follow the guidelines. In spite of that, still we have to play a great role as a health professionals and as a citizen of this planet, and our right to have our health and well-being to be reaching the fullest potential, and every right to get our future citizens breastfed so that they have complete nutrition. So what we can do, what the health professionals can do to implement IMS Act effectively. So role of health professionals or hospitals or institutions or organizations refuse to accept any kind of direct or indirect sponsorships from baby food or feeding bottle companies for medical education and events. So that's why we don't encourage any sponsorships or any kind of direct or indirect funding from these companies for any kind of activity. Plan and conduct awareness of the staff. Awareness is more important. So frequent awareness, that's why we have this 10 days of awareness creating on various aspects of breastfeeding, various challenges, and how to overcome these challenges, and what are the legal provisions that can empower you to ensure that IMS Act is implemented, and also to report and take action and help the government to take action on those who are violating these, and also to promote where we need to create awareness. So through this conference, we are creating awareness, and various such events are organized. Do not accept free samples, posters, stationeries, etc. from baby food and bottle companies. So they try to give samples, posters, stationeries, or other equipments with their brand name and with their product's name. So do not accept them. In that way, you are encouraging them directly or indirectly, and you are promoting them. Do not prescribe formula unless medically indicated. And generally, this commonly happens is doctors prescribe medicines which give them good profits directly or indirectly. By prescribing those medicines, sales will increase. So pharma companies benefit them in one way or the other way. So this is also again, an ethical moral issue and also a professional issue. See, you have to take the patient interest into top priority, and affordability, accessibility, and also safety and all other things. Because just some pharmacies supporting you or funding you, sponsoring you, you should not prefer that. That's why even government of India is also bringing out various initiatives not to specify any brand name, but to specify generic name. Just write the medicine name, and whichever medicine, that medicine, generic medicine, you can take it from any brand. Once you specify brand, you ask for that brand only, and that can be a very costly brand. So often you see when you go to medical shop, when you have the generic name, you will have the same brand for 1 rupee and also for 100 rupees, or for 10 rupees, or for the same brand medicine for 100 rupees. So why this? Because based on brand, their facilities and their brand reputation and all, lot of things determine the price of, and especially international brands, and the kind of investment also they make, the kind of advertising, all these are included, part of it, pricing. So that's why you also, whenever you go to doctor, even there are provisions also, rules and regulations also, that doctors should prescribe in generic names all the medication. And also clearly, nowadays, there are also a lot of issues, and this can also come under negligence of doctor if he is not writing, if he or she is not prescribing the prescription clearly. Because of that, if some other medicine is delivered or consumed, then doctor can be liable because he or she did not prescribe it properly. So now it is doctor's responsibility to clearly write the prescription so that the patient also understands. So nowadays, most of the prescriptions are coming in typed format, printed format, not like earlier handwritten format. But still, there is a lot of practice. But nowadays, more and more such medical negligence is happening. So people are raising more concerns and complaints. So even government is also acting on and giving guidelines from time to time that you should be writing legibly, which is understood by the patients as well as the pharmacies. And it should be in generic names so that you can go and ask the medicine, and whichever is less and whichever is best one you can take. So that is also very important. When we start asking as a client, and when we start prescribing as a health professional, Then only when we both come together, then only this will be practically possible to implement. Otherwise, on both sides, it is lack of our own responsibility. It is on both sides, we both have to be responsible enough to ensure that you also both ask each other so that both follow it, so that the both can get benefit. It's like a win-win situation. So respect conflicts of interest resolutions of the World Health Assembly and report any perceived violation of the Act to Government of India, state governments or BPNI. As BPNI is a monitoring agency, you can report to them, bring notice to them along with the proofs, evidence, so that even if there is no proof also, you can report to them. They will also check it, cross-check and verify if there is any such. They will also document it and initiate necessary action and proceedings through proceedings. So if you have any queries or doubts regarding this, this is just very brief, because it takes a lot of time. I am a actor, no, as such, because it takes a lot of time, but to be very specific, what is important at a glance, what you need to understand, that we try to put it in a very crispy, in a short, summarized way, to the point. And if any presenters are there, so before we, go on to another presentation or another topic, if any presenters are there who are willing, who have registered for the conference for presentations and willing to present now, can share your details as shown on the screen in the chat box so that we can invite you. And also, before or immediately after presentation, complete all your formalities. That is also equally important for those who are looking for certificates. Raina Senati, you can share your details if you are there in the chat box. As you can see on the screen, there is a format on the screen. You can type your presentations. You have 2 presentations. Okay, we need to check. Anyway, you can share the details here. And we are verifying now, because lack of time, only when you apply for certificates, all the details. Yeah, please share your details. We'll provide you. You have to share the details in the chat box, then we can allow you. Documentation is also equally important. Can you see the screen? You can respond in chat box. Can you see the screen? On the screen, there are instructions. Right? Read the instructions and share your details in chat box for both the presentations. One after the other, you can do. You can lower your hand. Once you share the details, we will invite you. Immediately share the details, type the details in the format and share it. Don't worry, we will provide you opportunity. We are here to provide opportunity to everyone whoever is following the guidelines and having appropriate content and not violating any rules and regulations. And I thank especially the Baba, IPFAN, BPNI, World Health Organization, United Nations, UNICEF, and all other, organizations who are providing a lot of materials for us to create awareness. And we are also in collaboration uh, with them, and our event is also listed on the official, website under the event section. And anyone who is visiting these official partner websites, they can find our event, and from there they can register and they can also attend. So it is worldwide. These events are being promoted to bring awareness. Yeah, Renia, we haven't received your details. Are you following my instructions? We haven't received your details in chat box. Quickly share. Only after sharing we can allow you for presentations. There are instructions on the screen. Kindly go through the instructions. This is the problem, if you don't follow the instructions, then you will not be able to do. And we cannot explain each and everything on this platform. Reina, we have told you to share your details in the chat box. Without sharing them, you are asking, should I start? You have to share your details. What is that you are presenting? What is your title? What is your name? Where are you from? Where are the details? You share all the details. The format is shown. This is a problem. You don't follow instructions, and again, tomorrow you'll say, I was not able to present, I did not get certificate, and all those. We see 99.99% it is the mistake that by the presenters and participants only. They do not follow, and again later on blame others. You follow the instructions, read the instructions, follow them, and get the benefit out of it. Okay, if you are not sharing, we cannot allow you. Now you have to follow the instructions. We'll move on to other commemorations, other presentations. In the meanwhile, we give you another opportunity. You share the details first. You have to share in the format. Can you see the format? Only when you share the details in the respective format, you will be allowed. We cannot waste time like this. Okay, we'll move on then. So we thought we should be covering the sustainable development as well, right? So today we'll also look at we will do it tomorrow. It's already 8 o'clock. So what we'll do it tomorrow. So it will take time, minimum 1 hour and more, to talk about breastfeeding and sustainable development, how the 17 goals are met through sustainable development. And yeah, coming to one more event is there, that is on August 15th. So August 15th, every year, we have Independence Day celebrations as usual, and we are inviting speakers. Anyone can present. There is no age restriction, and there is no restriction at all in any terms. Only thing is, you should be presenting on any theme related to independence, and you should not be, all the presentations should be constructive, productive, positive in nature, because that is not the day, that is, every day we have a lot of events happening. Every day is an opportunity. But on that day, we want you to come up, as we are celebrating, we want you to come up with presentations. If you have PPT, you can come up with PPT, or if you have oral presentations. You cannot prepare anything, you can get a handwritten or typed it, and you can make a presentation. So the minimum you can make 2 minutes, 3 minutes. If you have poster, you can bring poster, or if you are a good painter, artist, you can paint something related to Independence Day or freedom struggle or social workers, social reformers, anything, even school students to senior citizens, anyone can participate, and everyone will be given, those who are participating, they will be given participation certificates, and those who are presenting or sharing their observation. We will also have a quiz on Independence Day. So you can also fill the quiz and also get the quiz certificates. So there are two opportunities. One is three opportunities. One is participation. Anyone can participate and encourage the ones who are presenting. So you can get participation certificate. And the second thing is presentation. It can be anything. Presentation can be even if you are a freedom struggle fighter, or even if you are a relative or a family member of freedom fighter who have participated in the freedom struggle, and if you want to share, or if you have any views how you can make India better without criticizing anyone, you can bring up, or anything that is related to glory of past, present, and future. You can talk about any programs, policies, or any welfare schemes, how India is progressing, anything from agriculture to space. You can talk about any satellite, any space program, or agriculture, industry, anything related to any field, how it is taking India ahead. And if there are any challenges, problems, you can come. It doesn't mean that you don't have to highlight some problem. But at the end of the day, you should provide solution. Just talking about problems will not solve anything, right? You should come up with solutions. Solutions where will help us to solve it, and alternative ways, because every problem has a solution, not just one solution, many solutions. And every solution can also create a problem. We need to look at that perspective as well. Because just suggesting A solution may not work in all times, at all places, with everyone. That can create a new problem that can solve existing problem. So that's why it is very important that we have multiple solutions. You can suggest, come up with that, and it's a wonderful opportunity for everyone to come up, encourage your children, encourage your colleagues, encourage your friends, anyone. No eligibility, no, you don't need any, degree or any educational qualification. Even if you are literate or illiterate, doesn't matter. So as long as you are able to present, you are able to talk, you are able to say anything positive, constructive, productive, which you want to share, you are welcome. Even if you want to perform any dance, any song, which is patriotic, or anything that is in the name of, celebrations, which should not be vulgar, indecent, or any such things are not allowed. If you are a painter, if you are an artist or anything, if you come up on this day, or if you are doing some decoration or with some food materials or some articles, anything. See, anything we would like everyone to be part and contributing. So you can mention it in the application form. Everything you just mention in the title of presentation, you mention what is that you are doing. And we will provide you opportunity and we can have. That is also evening, don't worry. If we get more responses, then we can also start early. So you can enjoy celebrations whole day and you can join in the evening. So if anyone requires, but generally, mostly it is in the evening only. If there are many presenters who are willing to come in the morning, then we can have morning. But that we can only tell when you fill the registration form and make a request. So it all depends on the participants and presenters again. So we are flexible to accommodate. It's up to you. You come up with presentations from 6 o'clock. We can, if there is no limit on number of presentations, number of presenters. If the link is available on the website, feel free to register and encourage all your favorite family members, friends, students, scholars to register and at least talk for 2 minutes. No, we all can talk about any topic, right? Whichever topic is, whichever you have studied and how it is related and how it is taking forward our India and the citizens of India, you can choose and connect it to celebrations, Independence Day celebrations. So this is a wonderful opportunity, everyone. Use this opportunity. This is our platform. Let's use this platform in a rightful manner. Everyone gets benefited from it. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining. We request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which is being shared in the platform in the form of polls. And those who are registered as participants and presenters, kindly ensure you are following all the guidelines so that you will be eligible for the certificate. And for presenters, once you register, you need to share your details to the conference email ID immediately after registration, before presentation, or if you miss it, after presentation immediately, and join the conference and share your details in the chat box live, which is displayed on the screen, your title, presentation title or topic, your full name, your occupation, designation, department, organization, whichever is applicable, and the place from where you are coming from, city, state, country, along with the duration of presentation. This is required. Rania Zenati, kindly note of that. It is also screened, but till now you haven't shared the details. So tomorrow you can join and share the details, which is visible on the screen. It is also available on the website. If you are joining from mobile and you are not able to read, kindly go through the website and read the instructions carefully, and you can join tomorrow and make your presentations and complete your presentations. Don't wait till last day. So thank you, everyone. See you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Take care. Good night. Before leaving, quickly fill up the feedback.